My name is Brendan Barnes, and this is my testimony. Me being homeless was never a part of the plan, okay? I had just graduated from NYU at the time, and I had decided to move out to Phoenix, Arizona. I ended up working for a small company, but it was paying a lot of money. And back then, at the age of, 21, I thought, you know what? They're paying me this amount of money. I don't know anybody out there in Arizona, but I'm gonna do it. Went out there and the whole company was just a fraud, long story short. After 3 months of me working there, the company ended up going belly up. And I was just so embarrassed. I didn't know how to communicate to my family, like, hey, you know, I was played, or I was tricked or bamboozled or catfished, whatever you want to call it. And I kept it to myself. Everyone admired the fact that I would get up and move halfway across the freaking country without knowing anybody. So I felt like I was a major failure. I was homeless, I want to say, for 4 months. I've slept outside, I've slept at parks, I've even slept in a few of my friends' cars. The turning point was this family that didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't know them. They ended up taking me in. And at the end of the day, I didn't know anything about it. I'm thinking, like, they don't know anything about me. And here I am sleeping in this big, beautiful home, and they're, you know, on the other side of the house. While being in their home, I ended up getting a job just like that. It wasn't a job that I wanted, but it was a job that I knew this is what I have to do. So I ended up becoming a bill collector. Imagine that, somebody that's homeless and in debt being a bill collector. Throughout that process, the family that I was staying with, Dwight and BJ, we ended up getting really close. And not only that, Dwight just so happened to own and run his own production company. I ended up writing this treatment to a show, and it was basically called Industry Kids. And ironically, it was about kids that are in the industry, and I wanted to showcase what their life is really like. For my father to be this big, well-renowned person, and for my biological mom to be a custodian, I had kind of experienced the best of both worlds. I knew what it was like to be with my father and know, okay, we have everything, I don't want for anything. But my father was also bipolar and schizophrenic. You see what I'm saying? And very physically abusive. My mother is one of the hardest working people ever, but we didn't have anything. I ended up writing the show, Industry Kids, pitched it to several production companies. They told me it was impossible. We don't think that you guys would have anything in common. Who's really living like this? I mean, you're saying that you're going through this, but what about Angela Simmons? What about Bow Wow? What about Romeo? And it was just like, am I the only one that's really going through this? So my show idea did not get picked up. It was a very depressing moment. Around that time, the people that I was staying with, one of them ended up getting very, very sick, and passed. It's so crazy thinking about this stuff. The house was lost, I'm gonna just say it. Reached out to my godmom, and I broke down and I told her everything that was going on. I told her I was getting ready to be homeless again. She said, you're never gonna be homeless. Come here, come home. And home at the time was Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really see myself in Atlanta, you know, but for whatever reason, I felt the need to go to Atlanta. Throughout the journey from the Greyhound to Vegas just to catch a flight, I thought that I had an official ticket. It turned out to be a buddy pass. The plane ended up being full. They pushed me over to the next flight. Had to wait at the airport for another 4 hours. That plane ended up being full. The third time, there was a guy behind me. He said, I'm gonna buy your ticket. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, where I come from, people don't do nice stuff like that. Literally, got off of the plane, and I get this random Beverly Hills number calling me. Thinking, what is this? You know, who's calling me from California? What happened to be a production company? Hey, we have a show idea, and we would like to see if you're interested in it. Okay, what is the show about? They started explaining a show that was really idea that I had. From that moment on, I had made a promise to myself that I would always remain determined, well-driven, and consistent overall. that's what motivates me. I really believe that determination is something that's instilled in all of us. And it's not necessarily, oh, well, I'm determined to make it. In all reality, I'm really determined to help as many people as I can because I've been on that other side.